Your brain is being manipulated right now. Not by some shadowy organization or hidden technology, but by sound itself. And scientists have discovered that two slightly different tones played simultaneously in each ear can literally rewire the frequency at which your brain operates, shifting you from anxious and scattered to deeply focused or profoundly asleep within minutes. That is not a metaphor. That is measurable, repeatable neuroscience happening inside your skull every single time you press play. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to discover exactly how binaural beats work at a biological level, why certain frequencies do dramatically different things to your cognition and sleep quality, and the one surprising finding from recent neuroscience research that completely changes how you should be using them. Most people treat binaural beats like background music. The evidence suggests that approach is leaving most of the benefit completely on the table. The story of binaural beats begins in 1839, with a Prussian physicist named Heinrich Wilhelm Dove. Dove was not trying to improve sleep or boost productivity. He was studying acoustics, specifically how the human auditory system processes sound. What he discovered almost by accident was that when two tones of slightly different frequencies are delivered separately to each ear, the brain does not hear two separate tones. Instead, it perceives a third tone, a rhythmic pulsing sound that does not actually exist in the air around you. It exists only inside your brain. Dove called this an auditory illusion, and he moved on. It would take more than a century for anyone to realize he had accidentally discovered one of the most powerful tools in neuroscience. In 1973, biophysicist Gerald Oster published a landmark paper in Scientific American titled Auditory Beats in the Brain. Oster was the first researcher to connect Dove's acoustic illusion to the measurable electrical activity of the brain. He demonstrated that the brain does not just passively hear the phantom tone. It actively synchronizes to it. This process is called frequency following response, and it is the engine behind everything binaural beats can do. When your brain detects that rhythmic pulse, neurons begin firing in alignment with it. If the pulse is oscillating at 10 cycles per second, your brainwaves begin gravitating toward 10 cycles per second. Oster's paper launched decades of research and turned a curiosity into a clinical tool. So what are the actual frequencies and what do they do? Your brain operates across a spectrum of electrical states, each one associated with very different mental experiences. Delta waves, between 1 and 4 Hz, are the deepest, slowest waves your brain produces. They dominate during deep, dreamless sleep and are associated with physical restoration, immune function, and memory consolidation. Theta waves, between 4 and 8 Hz, appear during light sleep, deep meditation, and the drowsy state just before you fall asleep. Alpha waves, between 8 and 12 Hz, are the signature of relaxed wakefulness. This is your brain on a lazy Sunday afternoon, calm but present. Beta waves, between 12 and 30 Hz, characterize active thinking, focus, and problem solving. And gamma waves, above 30 Hz, are linked to peak cognitive performance, heightened perception, and moments of insight. Binaural beats work by targeting these specific bands. A study published in the journal Frontiers in Human Neuroscience in 2017 found that participants who listened to theta-frequency binaural beats, around 6 Hz, fell asleep significantly faster than the control group and reported higher quality sleep scores the following morning. A separate study from 2019 in Applied Psychophysiology and Biofeedback found that beta-frequency binaural beats at 18 Hz improved sustained attention and working memory performance in healthy adults during a cognitively demanding task. These are not small effects observed in fringe laboratories. These results have been replicated across multiple institutions. Here is what nobody talks about when they recommend binaural beats. The frequency itself is only half the equation. The carrier tone, the actual pitch of the sound being played, matters enormously. Most commercially available binaural beat tracks are built on carrier tones between 100 and 500 Hz, because those frequencies feel comfortable to the human ear. But research from the Monroe Institute and several independent labs suggests that carrier tones closer to 200 Hz produce stronger frequency following response and deeper brainwave entrainment than tones at the higher end of the spectrum. The reason is anatomical. Lower carrier frequencies vibrate structures in the inner ear more efficiently, producing a cleaner neural signal. So the 99-cents binaural beat track you found online might technically be in the right frequency band and still be underperforming because nobody paid attention to the carrier tone. There is also a critical factor that almost no content creator mentions. The gap between the two frequencies must be below 40 Hz or the brain simply will not perceive a binaural beat at all. If your left ear hears 400 Hz and your right ear hears 440 Hz, the brain perceives a 40 Hz peak. That is in the gamma range and is associated with focus and insight. But if the gap is larger than 40 Hz, the auditory cortex processes the two tones as separate sounds and no entrainment occurs. This is why binaural beats require headphones. Without them, the tones mix in the open air before reaching your ears, and the entire mechanism collapses. Now here is where the science gets genuinely surprising. A 2020 meta-analysis published in Psychological Research reviewed 22 studies on binaural beats and cognitive performance. The overall findings supported binaural beats as a meaningful cognitive intervention. But buried in the data was something remarkable. The benefits were significantly stronger in people who already had some form of regular meditation or mindfulness practice. The researchers theorized that people who have trained their attention have a more responsive frequency-following response, essentially a better-tuned neural radio that can lock onto the entrainment signal more quickly. This suggests that binaural beats and meditation are not alternatives to each other. They are synergistic. Using both produces results that neither can achieve alone. What does this look like in real-world application? For sleep, the evidence points toward a protocol that begins with alpha frequencies in the 20 to 30 minutes before bed. 8 to 10 Hz helps the brain decelerate from the beta-dominant state of a productive evening without creating a jarring drop. After 15 minutes, the track should transition into theta territory around 6 Hz, mimicking the natural progression your brain makes as it approaches sleep. Some of the most effective sleep tracks on clinical platforms then gently drift into delta range between 1 and 4 Hz, essentially guiding the brain through the entire descent into deep sleep like a runway of lights leading an aircraft in. People using this protocol in a 2021 study at Northumbria University reported a 23% reduction in sleep onset time over 2 weeks of consistent use. For focus, the protocol looks very different. Beta frequency tracks between 14 and 18 Hz work best when started 5 to 10 minutes before beginning a cognitively demanding task, not during it. The reason is that the entrainment process takes time. Starting the track as you open your laptop and immediately expecting laser focus is like trying to accelerate from 0 to 60 in first gear. The neuroscience suggests a short priming window produces dramatically better results. Additionally, sessions longer than 90 minutes show diminishing returns for cognitive performance. Your brain naturally cycles through attentional peaks and troughs, and pushing past that window with continued entrainment can actually increase mental fatigue rather than reduce it. The practical implications of all this research are significant. If you are using binaural beats purely for relaxation and getting modest results, you may be using the wrong frequency, the wrong carrier tone, or the wrong timing protocol. If you are using them for focus and not noticing much difference, your sessions may be starting too late or running too long. And if you are using them without headphones, you are not using them at all in any scientifically meaningful sense. The bottom line is this. Binaural beats are not magic and they are not pseudoscience. They are a precisely calibrated acoustic intervention that works through a well-documented neurological mechanism. The research supports their use for both sleep acceleration and cognitive enhancement, with meaningful effect sizes in controlled studies. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Sleep Wave for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.